I'm Victoria Lansford. Welcome to the fourth publication in the series, Metal Techniques of Bronze Age Masters. This DVD focuses on the technique of Eastern repoussé. The word repoussé comes from the French word repousser, which means to push out or push back, and it refers to the technique of freehand hammering metal to create high relief. It dates back to ancient Egypt and ancient Mesopotamia, and includes such famous works as the mummy mask of King Tutankhamun, and also, much later, the Statue of Liberty. And now I'm ready to start planishing from the top to create those planes and those pyramidal shapes, almost inside that line with the edge of the tool. One of the ways that Eastern repoussé is different. I'm going to chase the line from the front to begin. However, it's the same method we just used for the chase piece, but a very different approach. Now I'm ready to do the 6th round on this piece, and it's just like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds where I start with the edging tool. And do a 2nd round. Because I haven't really changed the shape, at this point I don't need to go over this exterior line in between, but that's sort of an exception. And I also don't need to go over this interior line at this point either. I've already gone over it once. But I'd like to show you some other texture options before I go on with this. In fact, we'll make this sort of a sampler of completely different textures. In a lot of repoussé pieces, I do textures that imitate things, such as fish scales or rabbit fur. And so I'm going to try those here for you to see how I do that. For fur, in case you're making an animal with fur or you just want to give your repoussé piece fur, I use the large line tool and hammer very lightly and going the direction that I would want the fur to go. Now we're ready to begin our first chase piece. And a word about the process of chasing. Chasing always refers to hammering the metal from the front. It can be in conjunction with repoussé or it can be by itself. When it's by itself, there's really no one right direction. You can go left to right, right to left, whatever feels comfortable. So fast. I've lost track. You've done what, about 3 times back and forth?
Yes. I would
Something
say
like
so.
that.
Something like that.